You're only successful if you understand and anticipate specific local customer needs and if you implement them in your products. Now, Audi is recognized as early on. With the Audi A6L, we actually were the first manufacturer to offer a premium saloon with an extended wheelbase in China. And we constantly expanded our model lineup in China, from 10 models in 2008 to over 40 at the end of this year. Now, the four rings enjoy an excellent reputation in China. With 727,000 vehicles in 2020, we achieved a record result, despite difficult global conditions. And in the first half of 2021, we can also see a new record being set, with 418,000 Audi models sold so far. Now, the basis for our future growth is our two-partner strategy. Together with our new partner SAIC and our long-standing partner FAW, we are setting completely new standards as a premium manufacturer. At the Shanghai Auto Show in April, we gave a preview of our model initiative in China with 4 vehicle premieres. At the end of this year, we will unveil up to 30 new or revised models in China with our partner FAW. We expect the Chinese premium market to grow to around 4.5 million units by 2030. Of these, up to 40% could then be electric vehicles. In China, for China. This also applies to our R&D. To this end, we are stepping up our local development activities. And in doing so, we are cooperating both with our group-wide software and electronic hub, CARIAD, as well as with leading Chinese tech giants such as Tencent, Alibaba and Baidu. In China, for China. This also is true for the development of an Audi ecosystem. We will continue to expand the Audi ecosystem. It includes integrating popular Chinese apps into our cars and intelligently connecting our vehicles with the infrastructure. Dr. Dies called China the group's second home market. And Audi has internalized this idea. In future, we want to offer our users a dynamic ecosystem around the brand, where customers and brand experience will merge into a lifestyle. This is one of the essential tasks for the future, to create an extraordinary attitude to life for the customer with products and experiences around the brand. More than 7 million cars sold in the last 30 years are a great success for Four Rings in China. And at the same time, it's an incentive to keep inspiring our customers with innovative products and to develop new car-related services. In this sense, stay connected.
Well, and with that, we're back from China here in Ingolstadt, where, well, in August, we've just been caught up by April weather after this short shower here. Well, Jürgen, over to you again. Now, if you take that view of China, what will we have to focus more on in the future? Well, I think Werner Eichhorn has just said so. Our customers in China have different requirements and expectations when it comes to mobility than we in Europe. And our customers in Europe have once again different expectations to mobility from our customers in the United States. So for us as an international automotive group, with sites in almost all continents, that means we need to get ready for that. We need to learn from our customers. We need to have our customers clearly in focus, customer-centric. We already heard a number of times today the word speed, and China can be setting the pace here, no? Indeed, China for me is the trailblazer, and it's the clear example why we need a high innovation speed, why we need swiftness in our innovations. Now, with the strategy, we readied ourselves for this, and we are prepared that with our strategy, we will take the next growth step also in China, especially, of course, with our electrification strategy. And we have got dedicated teams on site? Yes, of course. I mean, China is in many areas setting the technological pace in that eco-environment. And we need to have market-specific innovations that ready ourselves for this. That means we need to understand the customers on site, which we can only do if we've got strong, dedicated regional teams on site. And that's why we are, for example, expanding our R&D developments in China. So in China, for China. Indeed, in China, for China, but of course also China as a pace setter for the development processes here in Europe and the world. Now, China is also well known to be a trailblazer when it comes to digital business models. Which role are these digital business models playing when it comes into sustainable mobility? Well, the digital business models need to be integrated still further with mobility and the new mobility offers. This is the only way that we can manage to have sustainable mobility, easier to be used by the user and customer, and thus more attractive. What this is all about is the ecosystem around surrounding the electric, fully autonomous driven cars. I think that will be the key to have customer satisfaction, and at the end of the day, with that also, to retain customers over the long term. Well, John said in that talk earlier that he rather speaks about users than customers. Indeed, our new business models will be much more software focused and software centered, and I think therefore it's right to speak more about users in future. Then, that's software slang, isn't it, then to speak of our classic car customer. With the new business models, we started a few things already, like functions on demand. Yes, functions on demand is a very good example for new business potential that we see coming, of course, from the software-driven units. With functions on demand and with the Audi app, for example, you can now have our cars actually really connected to the everyday use of the customer and offer our customers an even better service and increase the comfort for them. It's a great solution, I'd say. And what's more, you can even add options, vehicle options, during the use phase for the user. So he can pick and choose new features during the life cycle of the car. And that means, of course, we can be much more bespoke. It's another potential for revenue. Indeed. Software, as I said, offers new earnings potential. But of course, we've got other topics also in the pipeline. We are working, for example, on a mobility app that allows the user in a playful way to understand his mobility behavior better. And with that, we are making a contribution towards sustainable mobility and thus to our ESG topic that we addressed earlier. That's the think tank. Yes, indeed. That's our Audi think tank in Berlin. And the Audi think tank in Berlin is working for us on new creative business models that are digitized. And for this, the startup environment of Berlin is, of course, ideally suited. I'd like to come back once more to electric mobility, our e-offensive, where we are now actually taking we're doubling our product lineup in the next few years. And this entire transformation issue is, of course, a huge and massive topic for the industry. Now, how can a CFO here push sustainable mobility in that? Well, look, the fact is that at the end of the day, it's the customers who take that decision. They decide how they understand sustainable mobility. Now, in the first half of this year, we've clocked up a new record when it comes to deliveries. And in many, many regions, we're already back on a pre-crisis level, even exceeded it. So great performance we see here. But electromobility was an important driver in this development. So I'm convinced that with our product offensive, we are on the right way here. I think we are as consistent as no other in the automotive industry counting on electrification. By 2025, we will have the production of the last combustion engine. We will produce our last combustion engine by 2025, so that by 2026, we will then see the rollout into the markets of that last combustion engine. And then as of 2026, we will produce exclusively battery electric vehicles, bring them to the world markets. And as of 2033, that will be the phase out. That's the end. Yes, that will be the end of the IC. We're right in the midst of that transformation with the e-tron, the e-tron GT, the Q4 e-tron and the likes. We have already quite a few models at the start. Now, the shift from combustion engine to electric mobility, how can you make that profitable? Well, our strategy here has, of course, first defined the guidelines for our product lineup. Now, from my perspective, that's a central component that we take the right product decisions, and we've taken them. Then, of course, we have to work on the profitability and economic feasibility of the vehicles. But here we are on the right track. But with electric vehicles, we still have a bit of homework to do, that's right. So the profitability of the electric vehicles will definitely be increased in the upcoming years, and we will do so. So that we expect that in 2 to 3 years' time, the profitability of an electric vehicle will be roughly on a par of a combustion engine vehicle. And we've got good examples actually already here. If you only look at the Q4 e-tron family in Europe, it already has a comparable margin level as the Q3 family worldwide. And of course, we are really bringing emotional, great products to market over the next few years. So that for me, I mean, look at the e-tron GT. It's a super sassy, highly emotional product that clearly shows electromobility can be very emotional. And how do we want to set ourselves apart from the competitors, who of course are also bringing plenty of models on the market? Well, I'd say we can count on our traditional strengths, like quality, like design. Here we have the possibility to really set ourselves apart from the competitive field. Look at workmanship, look at color and trim, look at acoustics. These are all our strengths where we can really set ourselves. That's where we can play our strengths. At the end, just one question to you, a personal one. You've been on board for, what is it, 6 months? What's your conclusion? Well, first of all, I'm thrilled to be part of the Audi team, because for me, Audi is the most exciting brand in the Volkswagen Group. Audi has the broadest product lineup, and Audi has a very central role to play in the vital future-ready topics. And we are trailblazer in many issues, like electrification, like digitization. And also, when you look, I mean, at the brand group premium with Lamborghini, with Ducati, and now since the 1st of March, Bentley, we have a huge responsibility within the Volkswagen Group. And of course, Ducati, I mean, I'm a biker, I'm a passionate biker. I love Ducati. I mean, and I do look forward especially to have that brand also under my auspices and under my responsibility. So, sum total, I can only say, great. Super to be on board, super to be a part of the Audi team. Jürgen, thank you very much. And as far as bikes are concerned, you're fully with me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd say, especially the financial aspect of the strategy has, I think, made it quite clear that the entire transformation process is highly complex with us at Audi. But now, we'll move on to the last part of our show. That's the Q&A session. To this end, give us a few minutes to have the participants rejoin us here in the studio, and we'll be back in a few seconds. Stay tuned.